not having a break at all, which is great for my water supply, as we do see the Dragon Knight, the Dragon Shire, sorry, coming in here, picked by the A-Team.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're basically going to keep on casting, keep on playing. That's the way we like it, you know, full momentum. And we're going to give you guys an update on whether there will be breaks after all, or whether we're going to basically charge through every single best of 5 today, because we've got 3 of those. So the quicker we get done with it, the more time we will actually, you know, spend in the games without breaking our rhythm. And it's confirmed, no breaks in between. Awesome sauce. There we go. Good man, Henry, always responding so fast.
Neat, neat, neat. So, let's head into this and get it going. We have Maiev and Genji being removed to start with. Let's see if we keep going down this hyper-aggressive melee route. Perhaps even the Illidan banned by TeamNut. Have they been jaded?
Ooh. Map was Dragonshire, correct?
It was.
Because I just spent time reading what Henry had to say. But yeah, Dragonshire, I mean, that is definitely a battleground that Illidan could work on. Especially teams like RPG in the past have shown us how to put this hero to great use on these battlegrounds. And the hammer this time around, though, getting banned immediately. So that tells us 2 things. First of all, the A-Team still doesn't necessarily feel comfortable playing it themselves or playing against it. And also, maybe they just don't want to pick Chromie this time around because they feel like, you know what, on Dragonshire, we may not be able to get the most value out of that pick.
We see a very old-fashioned composition that's been banned, basically, or at least bits of it have been banned consistently today so far in the previous 3 games. The Phoenix actually makes it through the ban phase and comes out with the Diablo Phoenix composition. I just didn't expect that to make it through so far.
Yeah, but already TeamNut is trying to respond to that with more damage themselves, picking the Jaina, which is probably one of the player Jaina's on the A-Team. Sorry, guys, but there's no other way of saying it. Favorite picks. So countering the Jaina player with the Jaina pick is quite nice here. Also, it could leave them open towards picking Reyna themselves. As we all know, the more slows, the more stuns your team has, the more damage Reyna will get from the ace in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, they could. A-Team could just go straight in. I think TeamNut should ban Reyna. You bring up an excellent point there. Like, outside of blinds, which could still come in for, like, a very heavy blind cover for TeamNut. Like, finish with Johanna and Cassia or something like that. But the A-Team, if they wanted to hyper commit to this, they could go Reyna and then just
like both teams could go Reyna at this point.
Yeah, but the A-Team Reyna, Deckard, and then whatever as their last pick. They just then have a setup for Salvo for the slows. They're not going to do that. They also don't even pick Deckard. They go for the Alexstrasza this time.
Okay, probably a choice of you know, personal preference at this point, because I think there is no reason to really, you know, neglect the Deckard at this point. The anti-healing being super strong against Malfurion and Irel, for example. Him just sustaining heroes like Phoenix so reliably is super good. But it looks like they rely more on Alexstrasza. Maybe that's something they've practiced more. Maybe that's something they feel more comfortable on. And they go for Hanzo and Garrosh as the main tank.
And there comes Tychus. Not the Marine we're looking for, but still a little bit of extra damage coming in here, and safe damage at that. Percentage damage versus Garrosh going to be awesome, and some little bit of siege with Hammer gone. They want to be able to burn down there, and of course those Ragnarok missiles do add a little bit of extra slow. Tychus can also pick a consistent slow talent. Those lead-laden bullets, or whatever it's called, level 16 talent or 13 talent for Tychus for his overkill, which is consistent slows. It's AoE technically. It can, if you are outside of the Erodin, be a fairly consistent way to make sure your opponents are slowed for that purification salvo.
Absolutely true. I think there's definitely more than enough slows available right now for the A-Team. What I also like about this Tychus is the fact that he's so resilient in the mid-late game against ability damage, right? The Neo Steel coating that can be activated gives him 75 spell armor. And what does the enemy team have? What do the Nuts have? Jaina, ability damage. Hanzo, normally ability damage from afar. So if Tychus goes into Orden form, pops the Neo Steel coating, he's nigh untouchable for the enemy team's assassins.
You are correct. There is very little method they can do to him, other than the fact that the Odin does make you stand very still.
That is
and
correct.
Jaina really has a very good time against people who stand very still. So that's the advantage you can get here. But you have an Alexstrasza on your team. either Cleansing Flame or Lifebinder. Both would be pretty decent when you're trying to keep heroes like that alive. Overall, it's a very standard slow comp from the A-Team, and it's just a very standard skirmishing team fight comp coming in from TeamNut. Nothing super special from either of these teams. And the question is, which one is going to be executed better? I definitely prefer this TeamNut comp to their first game comp.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm still leaning towards the A-Team though, because I really think they have some super reliable damage with Phoenix, with that Tychus. I think they also countered some of the heroes like the Garrosh very well with that percentage damage and the long range that Odin and Phoenix provide, so they're less likely going to get hit by the Garrosh combo. As it is though, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into what could potentially be the last game of this series if the A-Team wins. For now though, we're going to introduce their rivals yet again. TeamNut in the blue with No on that Hanzo, FS on the Garrosh, 7 plays Irel again, Oasis on Jaina, and a Tui on the Malfurion.
And on the right-hand side, we have the A-Team with Jaina on Tychus, Olele on Phoenix, Bruiser on Thralls, Saint Ukov on the Alexstrasza, and Kaitu playing Diablo.
That it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if the A-Team, if they win this game, they're basically advancing to the next round. And if they make it, or whoever makes it, needs to win one more best of fives to stay in the league for sure, to have a guaranteed survival in HGC China. Because otherwise, 7th and 8th rank, they would have to go down into the Crucible yet again, where they originally came from, by the way. Both teams are still newcomers.
Yeah. And that's not an argument. That's not saying that, oh, you're in the bottom two, you're out. You still have that chance to fight for your right to remain in the HGC China Gold Division. I would almost commit to the song.
And then if you win, party.
Yes, then if you win, party. You are fighting. You are quite literally fighting for your right to party, as we do see TeamNut going with this 4-man rotation, cleaning up very quickly. In comes Diablo, pretty deep here. Immediately finds a Malfurion route as Jada surprises Jada from the side with that Tychus and drops a fair amount of damage as Olele chunks through the heroes here. Does he have an Arsenal explosion? He does not, as Diablo goes down. Now Olele also gets stunned up. Double kill acquired as FS. Massive bait there with just no health at all.
Tetcher, that was a 4 versus 5 the entire time in favor of TeamNut. Sorry, in favor of the A-Team. So the fact that not only did they fight one man down, but they also managed to get themselves 2 kills while Irel had been pushing in the top lane all the meanwhile is a big win for TeamNut. And already you can see how they're skyrocketing away in terms of experience. But there's a big needed way for the A-Team to be soaked here on the bottom. And already Shrine Control going over to the Nuts as well. Both top and bottom under control. Kaitu on the Diablo trying to keep things clear in the middle up to this point.
We see 7 eating a lot of hits. He has the Avenging Wrath, but Phoenix with the prediction. Is the stun ready? Yes, it is. Where's that Arsenal synergy shot? Oh, he's out of range. 7 with the nice little bait play. Able to escape, however, he does lose top shrine.
All right, Tyke is backing off there immediately. He realized, you know what, there's reinforcements coming in already, and rightfully assumed here, because already Jaina and Hanzo were marching towards that shrine to help the War Chief. And for now, you can really see how, due to these early kills, you know, and then A-Team being committed to defending the lanes, they were actually already moving on, TeamNut, that is. They took mercenary camps. They're going to invade. Potentially, no, they're not going to invade this siege time. But already so much pressure being applied to the A-Team on the buildings. Losing the gate here, losing a tower most likely if Hanzo commits to it. That is so big and such good news for TeamNut already. That's exactly the start they needed if they wanted to stabilize in this series.
Bruiser just missing the roof. Actually, a nice jump by 7 Like I said, the XP pretty good for TeamNut right now. They're holding it together, but this 2-person top lane is just proving to be a problem. These towers are now with this mercenary camp especially are going to take damage. Look at this rotation actually. Diablo and Alexstrasza on the way. This is a 4 versus 1 push in top. A 3 versus 1 push in bot lane. Looks like we might just see a level 6 fort trade. Tychus just gives up. He's out.
I think so too. A fort for a fort, you know, but let's actually analyze this a little more. Like on Dragonshire, we all know that there's a double siege giant camp available in the bottom half. So Usually, for that late game push, getting the bot lane early is a little bit better. And already you can see exactly what TeamNut is doing, right? They're stealing away Merc cams. They might even get some damage on the secondary defense line there. And also in the late game, if you unlock one of those Dragon Knights, you want to push through that bottom. Not only do you have Siege Giant camps there, but also you have more movement freedom. You don't have to cross the bridge of death. So ultimately, although experience is largely split, I think it's still a win for TeamNut.
Looking okay for the moment. In fact, they're once again taking back top shrine, but surprise, Olele! But he does 7 Milk Lotus reinforcements. Root lands, now he does a little bit of fire as well. Now it's stuck off with the attempted flank, but here comes Jada. Oasis from the side. They pick up the kill instead, and very well baited. Great rotation by TeamNut as well. That could have been a disaster.
And see, that is the problem of support players. Getting a little bit greedy there for the kill. Of course, the positioning was meant to basically keep Irel, you know, zoned out a little bit and make it harder for her to jump to a good angle. But Alexstrasza cannot hope to take her down, even if, you know, she jumps right into her face. So Alexstrasza getting a little reckless there on the positioning led to her death ultimately because the reinforcements by TeamNut came in at the nick of time. So yeah, cute little details to be aware of as a support. Sometimes you just need to play a little more safe.
No, unable to sneak the Dragon Knight away from under Kaitu's nose. Yrel still 2 versus 1, 1 versus 2, sorry, in this top lane, having issues. But in the meantime, a rotation is coming up once again. Looks like they might either want to trade out the Bruiser camp or trade out 7 Milk. I'm sure 7 Milk will be the ideal target as Diablo and Tychus rotate as well. Look at that positioning.
They're
7 Milk.
again.
I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows. FS is coming in, though. This is going to be a great delay at minimum, giving 7 Milk a chance to back up here as Kaitu takes a fair amount of damage. Neither of these teams with level 10 right now as Kaitu drops super low. Nice little comeback again. The rotations from TeamNut just superior here. Nice little flip, and Olele goes down. Double kill for TeamNut.
Tetra, it almost looks to me like TeamNut has found a pattern in the way A-Team likes to rotate on this map. Like it's exactly the same thing that happened in game number 1 all the time. A-Team trying to gank 7 Milk on that solo lane every single time. And from now on, whenever, you know, Irel is in a little bit of trouble, immediately the entire team backs off, goes towards that top lane and helps Irel in need. And they capitalized on this early aggression from the A-Team over and over again now. Now they also have a Dragon Knight at their disposal. The Dragon's arrow connects the Ring of Frost, keeps Alexstrasza down, and boom goes the Dragon Queen.
The Dragon Queen dies to the Dragon Knight, apparently, in this case. That's not how chess works. As we see this mid-fort getting taken down, bot-fort's already down thanks to that rush earlier. They can just rotate down there and maybe try and go for some tier 2s. Instead, though, looks like they want to just get as big of an XP as possible. When you're ahead, get further ahead. So it's going to be top fort is the name of the game.
Exactly. Open up all those lanes, get as much easy experience, safe experience as possible. They pick up one after the other. Thrall says goodbye, takes a bath in that pond, and yeah, I don't know what to say. This looks like a completely changed TeamNut. Not only did their draft, or does their draft look much more coherent right now, but they also seem to read A-Team like an open book.
Indomitable is used, taunt on 2 members. Lifefinder is not enough. Down goes the Phoenix. Now Kaito in serious danger. Abundance lands though. This will keep him alive, and the Odin is a great displacement tool. Zatui was dying. The Dragon Knight gone. 2-level lead is what TeamNut came out of that with. We have all 3 forts down in exchange for just 1. And now we see the A-Team trying to get some counter XP, looking for 7 Milk. Ardent Defender shuts that down, and 7 Milk pulls back.
And how many times has 7 Milk actually survived through these team fights, through these assaults? It's actually insane. He turns out to be the most resilient team member that TeamNut can actually put into these lanes. And it looks like Irel is just a really good hero in general, especially in those situations. She is creating those plays with, you know, her reckless positioning, but with survivability, buying enough time for her allies to get in place over and over again. So now, with mercenary pressure, is it actually a double mercenary camp? No, it's just one bruiser camp. Ring.
Boy. So Lele actually tanks through that. The Ring of Frost not landing. Good little dodge there. Kaiju might not be so lucky. Oh, the salvo. Where's the lightning breath? Interrupted by 7 Milk. Completely shuts down the heroic. Actually, no, it was on cooldown. Sorry.
They still get only 1 kill, though. Oh, never mind. They didn't even get the kill. A-Team didn't get anything out of this.
It's 3 for
This is
1.
disaster.
Again, Lifebinder gets denied. Bruiser Cam's still set up here. Keep is gonna die. 20 seconds until Tychus. I think it's a bit short for a core attempt, but that's still first keep of the game. And Dragon Knight coming up next. This Dragon Knight could end the game.
It's still very early, don't get me wrong, but if they pick up another team member, if they have a good fight, I agree with you. They could maybe try to close it out. And I actually thought, you know, the Thrall flank did a lot of work there with that salvo damage and the slows and the synergy, but they weren't actually able to execute a single member of TeamNut. The Nuts held strong. And as such, as Tetra hinted towards, they're now going to get a Dragon Knight, very likely. Even if the A-Team wanted to contest this, they're 4 levels behind. I don't think they can even think of doing this. The valiant effort of the ranged minion, though.
Lovely Indomitable, keeping FS alive. He's still going to take a lot of damage, but he does survive thanks to the Nexus Cleanse, actually removing the slow there on FS, so he's able to pull back. Nice little subtle play. It's a fairly long cooldown to burn, but it's not the worst thing to do in the world, especially if it keeps your team alive.
And Tetra, we mentioned this many times in the past already. Dragon Shire usually is one of the maps where, you know, you have a lot of time to recover, even if you lose the early game, because the map is so wide open. You can always, you know, stall it out on the Dragon Shrines a little bit more. But already after 10 minutes, losing your bottom fort and bottom lane being the easiest lane to push in, it's going to be so hard for the A-Team to pull off. Only one more Dragon Knight and it could be the end. 2-level lead now in favor of TeamNut. That is quite literally nuts.
It is indeed, as Oasis, he's able to get away, almost putting himself in danger. Yorel sneaks the Dragon Knight, and Hanzo, he's alive as well after dueling with Phoenix. This could be a core attempt. Dragon Knight's on the way. Nuts are moving forward. A-Team,
Punt flank.
They're trying to escape the punt flag onto Jada here. Where's that Dragon Arrow? There it is. Ring of Frost isn't available. Try to move forward. Ring of Frost only lands on the Odin here, who gets taken out. Nice little play here. Salvo, huge damage, but it's not enough to finish off a 2-e.
It is a massacre. Diablo hasn't had enough yet, it seems. He gets punted out of that fight. Bye-bye, see you later. Because they don't even need to kill the Lord of Terror. All they want right now is that juicy, juicy core. They want to crack it wide open with that Dragon Knight and stabilize in this series. And it looks like that's exactly what TeamNut is trying to do. Now, the Dragon Knight taking some significant damage from, you know, the core. It's still early into game. In 11 minutes into it, Tychus is coming back, but there's no way they can hold it. Not even a miracle would have saved them at this point. And we've got ourselves the most thrilling, the most exciting end to this series that we could have hoped for, a Game 5 in our first best of 5.
15-0 was the kill count at the end of that game. TeamNut showing up today, and I